Hey, welcome to Watch and Waiting on the Lord. Today is December 5th, I believe. Just give me a sec. Tuesday, I believe. My days are off. Sometimes I don't. Two topics today. The first one is drop your old life and save your life. And the second one is, do I have a demon test? And I'm also going to read you a proverb too. I've been I've been feeling better, and I asked you guys to pray. I guess that helped. I've been bashed with kidney stones for 2 years. I got Moderna gave me a rare gallbladder disorder, okay? And it's like walking around with pancreatic cancer, the pain of it. It's like having a gallstone all the time. I can't even touch the area. I can't get that fixed unless I get it out. It's a functional disorder, but it's a rare disorder in men and women, but it's like 8 times less common in men. It was triggered by a very serious allergic reaction, and like I woke up and I couldn't breathe. And so I just found it coincidental that 6 months after this I was getting kidney stone after kidney stone. Was it the stress? What is it? It says that gallbladders are responsible for kidney stones in many cases, so I don't know for sure. But I started getting them, and obviously my diet is a contributor. Not that I have an unhealthy diet, but just the wrong foods because of certain abdominal disorders that I have. That one of my abdominal disorders has the worst diet restrictions that there is. It's called the splenic flexure syndrome. And anyway, so what I did is I was taking vitamin C 500. It used to be 1,000, and I just got rid of it. So I got rid of that about 4 days ago. But I need to get my vitamin C, so I started eating oranges, and so I've done that now 2 days in a row now. I'm going to eat one every day. And it's funny, the day after I ate the orange was my first day of feeling well. But it was about 2 weeks though after I started to get a stone, so it could be either or. I'd like to think it was the orange and just my prayer answered. So I have to keep that acidity, that acidic type of foods going. And thanks for the comment. I read your comment. Also, I just need to keep you guys updated because I'm not well. I'm not well in any of my videos, but I'm a lot better when I don't have a kidney stone. And while I do these videos, the more I speak, the more I feel unwell. It's just the way it is. I don't speak all that often, eh? And then the other thing was I'm eating, because I have to eat many small meals per day, and one of those was cereal with fruit on it. It was like Cheerios, and I was putting a celiac cereal over it. You might know what it is. I don't have the box here. It's in my closet, but it's called Sunrise Crunchy Maple Cereal. That's it right there. You know, like, it has good carbs, but it has too much sugar. So what I did is I immediately halved. Like I start measuring how much I have of that, because I use it twice a day. So I cut it down. So I have about a cup on the top of the Cheerios. So I cut it to half. So I cut my sugar in half. So it's like 26 grams of sugar, and I've moved it down to 13. Eat the orange and remove the vitamin C. So far that's been successful. So I'll get to this. Excuse me. I came across a test, what I consider to be a test. You know, you come across things in your life and you never know if what God's doing. Where I live in an apartment building And when I either go down the stairs or take the elevator. I walk out and there's a big mail room, and there's a counter there, and people tend to put, there's quite a few people who live in this complex, and they tend to put things out there that they don't want. Like, I'll do that, so it's just nice of everyone to, you don't want something, just put it there. And I saw a statue of Buddha, so I put it in my pocket and I threw it out. I should have buried it, but I didn't want someone else to get that, right? Pardon me. Those are the kind of things that you could bring into your house, and then all of a sudden you wonder, why am I getting sleep paralysis? Why am I getting, why am I having bad luck? Okay, drop your old life and save your life. If you're watching this video for the first time, or any Christian video for the first time, does it sound strange to you that in order to drop your old lifestyle, whether that be pornography, sex, addiction, drugs, alcohol, hanging with the wrong people, food addiction, that the only way out of this is to understand what sin is and what sin does to you both spiritually and physically, because the two are not separate. Let me help you in a quicker journey. Not that you want to take a quick journey away from the mainstream message that more often than not leads people away. I want to make it very clear that I don't make these videos just for righteous people. I make it for someone who may come across this and hate me. Take to heart what sin truly is. This is the biggest lesson in your journey with God. What is sin and what does it do to you? Ask God. Ask Him. Say, God, tell me, why is it destructive? What is it? You hear sin, sin, sin all your life, and you're like, when you weren't really so Christian, you hated that word and you hated hearing it. Well, many people do, but when you actually are wise enough to know and look at it and understand what it is and what it leads to, then you'll start becoming wise in the Lord. It's all vanity, Ecclesiastes would say. You can tell I've been reading Proverbs and Ecclesiastes. Remember when Jesus looked at his disciples after everyone left him, and he asked, and if his disciples, he said, "Are you going to leave me as well? Don't you feel sorry for Jesus?" Peter said, "Why would we leave you when you have the words of eternal life? Who in their right minds would abandon eternity and the keys to it? Why would you walk towards darkness instead of eternal life?" Well, and you know what? Isn't it nice to know that there is... I was thinking of this yesterday. I was taking a walk, and I was like, it was 12, it was midnight. I go for a walk sometimes at midnight, and I'm out there, and it's the first nice snowfall. There's lights on the trees. Yeah, by the way, you see that? I just put that up there for you guys, but it's just a little gift I'm getting for someone in my family. And the stocking too. I just put it up there for that reason, but because I've been reading Ecclesiastes and Proverbs, sorry, I have something like up in there. People want to think of, it was better in our youth. Oh, I wish I could go back. How many times have you thought of that? Unless you had a bad life, right? But you still remember good things. Don't think that way. You can have a better time today. But the biggest hope in the Lord and staying with the Lord is that those days haven't even come, right? Those days have not even come. And what's to come can't compare. So when I was walking around, it was so beautiful last night. I noticed beauty, okay? Like, I suffer with a lot of physical pain. And I wasn't suffering from the stone. I walked out and I just noticed how beautiful it was, and that came to mind. That what I see here right now, this is nothing compared to what God has in store. I remember saying to God, I hope when we are in eternal Jerusalem, the 2,500 mile long cube, I just hope that there's a place at least as beautiful as this. Pardon me a second, I take a drink and a bite here. It's so much easier to think of things that way when you're in a lot of pain, right? A lot of people who are born again, just they had bad lives. They went through things. They were betrayed by people. Their own family, problems with their own family. So, he said, why would we abandon eternity and the keys to it? Well, one answer is that people have more pleasure in darkness, right, than the light, and worry about having a light shone on those sins. But God can wash you and cleanse you of the guilt of those sins forever. So think of the things you've done in your life. I did some pretty bad things, okay? Those things can be washed away. That guilt, God will wash away for you, but you have to turn to Him. I know because I lived a life of pleasure with lusts of this life that were all empty. Most of my supposed friends either betrayed me or stopped talking for reasons I still can't understand, because I'm good to people. I don't care anymore because they aren't worth Jesus Christ. They aren't worth it. These people aren't worth it. Who cares about them? Not to say all of them, right? But those who do you wrong on purpose, or people you just can't understand, well, you pray for them, right? I was urged to write this by the Spirit inside me when I watched another believer say that some words that got to me. Yeah, I've shared her channel with you. Sorry, I keep saying her thing, but she said she was in suicidal thought, and so was I at one point due to the severity of my pain, and I was depressed and lost. Friends betraying you and just being different from other people and having different aspirations that aren't worldly. And I don't mean it's not okay to work and it's not okay to buy things. That's not what I mean. It's to lust after them. Put God ahead of that. Let me ask you something. Let's take the sin of fornication, whether that be heterosexual or homosexual. It's a sin to have sex outside marriage, and I'll tell you why. Sexual sins are different from all the others because we are the temple of God. And in doing so, we sin against our own bodies and our own temple, the temple of God. There's so much porn today of all kinds, and I mean every type. When you have sex repeatedly outside marriage and indulge in every type of lust, what do you think happens to your reputation and to your soul? You feel dirty, used, and your soul becomes scarred. You start developing scars on your soul. To stop that process, you stop now. It doesn't mean that God's going to take those memories away, but He'll take the guilt of it away. I don't care what you think you know. Maybe you're just ignorant because these acts make you dirty inside. There's a reason Jesus wants to wash us white as snow. Go look that up. We're filthy to the Father like blood of scarlet color. It's imperative to grasp what sin does to your soul and to be intelligent spiritually, to stay clean and therefore attract the Spirit of God and stop all soul-destroying behaviors. What if you're an addict and need to lie all the time about money and your whereabouts, your actions, when your mind was gone in some type of binge? These continuous cycles keep you kill you, literally, because the wages of sin is death. The wages of sin is death. I know what I'm talking about because I've experienced so many lusts of this life and what those effects had on my mind. It's not the way to live, like you're searching for a high that never ends nor satisfies. Jesus promises those living waters, fountains of life, that you have hope forever, and you need not search any further if you only give in to reading the Bible and putting your faith in Jesus Christ. Remember when he's at the well with a Samaritan woman and he says, give me a drink of water, I'll give you, you'll never thirst again. And that's what this means. Can you imagine? Say you're a person who's always chasing after sex and drugs, and you know that it can never be filled. Imagine being filled. And I don't mean sex. I just mean filled in hope. You wake up, you're happy. I don't mean you're happy with your circumstances, but God can do many things for you. Wouldn't you rather be there than be like that? John the Apostle says we cannot sin if we are born again. You see, I push my point about born again. Born again is to be convicted of your sins. You can't lie. You don't. Oh, maybe you do. Maybe you tell white lies to not hurt someone or something like that. But even in that, is it okay to masturbate? I questioned myself for about a year, but it was obvious. Will you worship God with the same hand you masturbate with? And is it any wonder those demons and sleep paralysis come back after you get yourself off and feel dirty all over again? I had to stop, and I have. When I read that before I was reborn, I didn't get it as much as I do now. I was convicted of my sins, and it can happen to you too if you want God in your life. You have to want it, okay? You can't walk into the Bible half-heartedly. You can, and maybe you'll make your way there, and I'm sure many do. But heed my words. I dare to ask God for proof of his existence, not mockingly, but as genuine as you can, because he won't draw near to you unless you really want him to. I'm going to read this. Actually, I'm going to read Proverbs at the end. Do I have a demon test? You'll like this Proverbs, okay? All you men listen to the proverb I'm going to say. See, at this point in my videos, I'm really uncomfortable. I haven't gone for a walk. Usually I feel much better after that, but gets worse as I go along, but I'm still okay though. I didn't experience sleep paralysis until about 3.5 years ago. I have my guesses why it began, but I'll keep that to myself. It was around this time when I began to read the Bible every day, but other things were going on. This is a simple test for unbelievers. I'm not guaranteeing it works, but why not test yourself to see if God truly exists? If you can experience these demons, you'll know. And wait, If you can experience these demons, you'll know that evil exists and that hell exists. If they exist, so does God. When you go through it more than once, and I mean more than once, you will question life. So I've had personally about 150 episodes over 1,000 days. If you don't believe in God, they likely won't manifest. But they still can. If I decided right now as a born-again believer to watch a tarot reading on YouTube, I can almost guarantee that I'll experience a demonic attack in my sleep tonight. A born-again believer wouldn't watch one. But just wait a sec. Whether it be smothering you, floating, sexually abusing you, and I emphasize sexual abuse in these episodes because it's real. It feels real because it is, but it's in the spiritual realm. You'd think I'm crazy until you get it too. So, I'm going to tell you something that I did. After I was born again, I started to think of those tarot readers, and I wanted to warn some of them. And you know what I did? I went to their video and I started putting out a Christian message. And just for visiting the website, I got sleep paralysis attacks just for doing that. I'm not kidding you. Stay away from these things. Stay away from bad pastors. Stay away from... Be very careful what you watch. The best test I know for a non-believer or even a lukewarm Christian is to open up a Bible and start reading and see what happens. Understand that demons will attack you if you set your mind to God. That's just the way it is. If you keep persisting, in most cases they will stop, but not all cases are equal. If you're a Christian and believe in God but still delve into tarot, masturbation, again, you will be attacked. The saying is true. A true believer of God cannot be possessed by demons or the devil or spells, but we can be harassed. The spirit of Jezebel in people, and especially narcissists, is evil. So they have the Jezebel spirit, and they are spiritually possessed. Why? Jealousy, anger, rage, plotting, manipulation, seduction, stealing. The list is endless. I know all about these narcissists. So if you don't believe in God, try the test. Don't be half-hearted, or it may not work. Try to understand what the passage is saying and wait. I'm saying this to an unbeliever to bring you towards God, that these things really do happen. I'm not asking you to tempt evil or anything like that. I'm telling you to read the Bible. Read it now. Pardon me, I got to take a sip of water, getting dehydrated. You know what evil is? People who stalk you, who try to mess up your business by sending messages and not responding. I don't know why I'm putting this in, but that's what I mean about evil people. Do you know that? People follow me. People stalk me. I'm not even kidding you. And I know that some of them are probably from this video. I'm very well aware. That's an evil spirit called Jezebel, and I want you to know something. Stalking is illegal and punishable by a large fine and up to 6 months in jail. Yeah, so I'll stop there. Actually, no. But you know what? Just know this. When you try to screw up someone's business, just know this, that God counters you. So if you try to screw up a sale for me, how do you know God isn't going to give me 5 sales for that? Evil people don't believe in real karma, which is God, but they simply can't see the other side of the equation because they never will, because they're debased. Sorry, you know what? I didn't actually want to read that. It just happened to be in there and I read it. I thought it was part of the story, so I'm just going on. I'm going to read this, but not before I say something about my kidney stones. I know you guys in the comments are trying to help. I exercise quite a bit, okay? Like despite my pain, I wake up, I do a workout, I do push-ups, I do dips, I do my arms, and I do my shoulders. I mountain bike and I walk, and I do some other stuff too, but I drink enough water. So I keep up with those oranges. Okay, so this is Proverbs 5. The peril of adultery. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. This is NK. This is New King James Version. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Lend your ear to my understanding, that you may preserve discretion, and your lips may know knowledge, may keep knowledge. For the lips of an immoral woman drips with honey. So this is King Solomon, the wisest person who ever lived, except for Jesus Christ. But these are the words of God still. So for the lips of an immoral woman drips with honey. Her mouth is smoother than oil, but in the end she is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps lay hold of hell, lest you ponder her path of life. Her ways are unstable. You do not know them. Therefore hear me now, my children, and do not depart from the words of my mouth. Remove your way far from her, and don't go near the doors of her house, lest you give honor to others, and your years to the cruel one, lest aliens be filled with your wealth, and your labors go to the house of a foreigner, and you mourn at last when your flesh and your body are consumed, and say, how I have hated instruction, and my heart despised correction. I have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to those who instructed me. I was on the verge of total ruin in the midst of the assembly and congregation. Drink water from your own cistern or well, and running water from your own well. Should your fountains be dispersed abroad, streams of water in the streets? Let them be your own, and not for strangers with you. Let your fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of your youth. As a loving deer and a graceful doe, let her breast satisfy you at all times, and always be enraptured with her love. For why should you, my son, be enraptured by an immoral woman, and be embraced in the arms of a seductress? For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he ponders all his paths. His own iniquities entrap the wicked man, and he's caught in the cords of his sin. He shall die for lack of instruction, and in the greatness of his folly or foolishness he shall go astray. I actually didn't mean to read that part. Pardon me, give me a second for my voice to get better. I'm going to leave Proverbs in the description box. If you want me to pray for you personally, just ask me. You can put in the comments what you want me to pray about. I can do it in a video for you in the next video if you like, but you have to tell me for what. Tell me if you'd like just me to do it privately. I'll do it privately and in a video. I don't try to do a show of anything. I know that you're supposed to do everything in secret, but some people like that. And I'll tell you, why did I read that? I didn't read that on purpose. That was just it was like a continuation of what I was writing, so I just decided to go with it. I'll tell you. I have a business, okay? I sell beeswax candles. I have an online store. I have, all kinds of different places where I sell them. And there's been a person, I don't want to give them any justification by saying in this video, but I'm explaining it because of this. This is the way evil people are. Someone's trying to mess me up. Someone's trying to mess me up, like, say, hey, I want this, I want that, and then they don't answer. So, whether or not they watch my video or not, I know who you are, by the way, because I found out. You don't believe me? That's fine. I have no love for these types of people. When I speak about narcissistic people or people are debased in the mind, I will never understand it. Why would you go out and try to hurt someone like that? I just don't understand that. And so that's why I said the blessing of the Lord will come. If you want to, hey, let me have 3-pillar candles and nothing. They do it over and over. How do you know I'm not going to get 50 sales from that? Ask yourself that. Anyways, I have recourse for doing something about that anyways. So, and God bless everyone. Thanks for your prayers.